cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know.
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
What is up, everybody? Can everybody hear me? Let's start with that. What's up? Marissa Fontaine, if y'all can hear me, let me know before I get going on this rant and I start talking about Daniel Callihan and his victims. Good, loud and clear. Sounds good to me. All right, so this is a tragic story, folks, and there's a lot of other things going on, but we want to give the other things a little bit of a break, as I know people still want to hear, and we're not forgetting about Madeline Soto, Sebastian Rogers, Elijah Vu, and everybody else. So I'm going to say hello to everybody, and then we'll go ahead and get started. T.O. Girl, what's up? Nicole Cheech, I got a few starred people, and it looks like I have some new members. Thank you for joining. Ludi, Stacy Sanders, JSU. Jojo gifted a membership already. Thank you, Jojo. And then Candy Dodson's a new member. So I know we're not on the Madeline Soto case, and you guys probably just saw Plunder drop a 10-minute video, and it's about documents and videos. So I'm sure we're going to get our hands on that. But for today, we got to take these other cases serious. And Callie Brunett, along with her two daughters, Erin, and I'm going to say Jaylee for right now. A lot of the kids' names aren't out there. And it's interesting because Daniel Callihan, his name is spelled differently in every single thing that I look at. So first I'm going to start with Daniel, because I want you to see his background history. It's crazy. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to talk about all the different breaking news things that happened, what's happened, and so forth. Hello, everybody. If you didn't see me this weekend, because I was supposed to be off the entire weekend, now you get to see me, and we're here, and I missed every one of you. And I'm trying to pull up this screen. So let me see if I can. Let's go. It is a slide. I'm trying to figure out where to pull this from. What's the best way to pull it? My computer. All right. All files. Let's do it this way. Let's try it this way. We're trying something new. It's not letting me do it that way. All right, everybody. So you guys probably know about Daniel Callihan, and I'm going to try to present this in a way that there it is. All right. Let's see what you guys can see, and we'll talk about him. We'll show the victims, even though I hate having to talk about children. It happened. Callie and Jaylee. Callie is the mom, and then we have Jaylee. And if I get back on my other screen, I'll be able to tell you. This was kind of a, let me make it bigger for you so we can talk about his criminal history, and I can put up their sweet names. All right. And I'll put that up in a bit. As you come in, please hit that like button so we can get in the algorithm. I don't want just people that are here for Madeline Soto. I want everybody to want to know about all the cases that are happening, and especially the ones with children. It's horrible what this Daniel Callihan did, but let's talk about his criminal history, and then we're going to get into the full story of what happened. A lot of you seem to know what happened, and a lot of you also need a break from the Madeline Soto case, even though it's everywhere. So let's get into Daniel Callihan, and I'll say a couple more hellos to everybody. Marilyn, we are here for you, Jay, and thank you. I appreciate that. We are here for and I'm going to tell you the story, and then I'm going to show you the story. So we're here for the abduction of Callie Brunett, who was actually dating this monster, Daniel Callihan. That was their involvement. They dated, although he had another girlfriend. This occurred in Ranger, Louisiana, if you know anything about it. Now, the events unfolded with Callie Brunett, where she was found passed away at her home on North Cooper Road in Louisiana. Her two daughters, Erin, who was 3 years old, and Jaylee, who was 6 years old, were abducted from their home. And I'm going to try not to botch this. Tangipahoa, how do you say that? Tangipahoa, Louisiana, abducted and unalived, took place on the same day, and the Amber Alert was issued. So at first we thought the missing girls were it was an Amber Alert. We didn't know how serious it was. The police moved really quickly. Daniel Callihan, who was on again, off again boyfriend of Callie, was later captured in Jackson, Mississippi after the chase with law enforcement. Now, Erin Brunett's body was found more than 100 miles away in Jackson, while Jaylee was found alive in her mother's car. All right, so we're going to talk about this whole thing as you all roll in. You're gonna hear it many times. So hello everybody, as I have Daniel Callihan. We'll talk about his history, and then we'll throw him off of the screen so that we can show the victims. Thank you for being here today. I do plan on covering this case, so if you do miss it, you can go back on the rewatch crew. Karen, he had horrible parents. His parents had horrible parents, generation after generation, and you could kind of see that. It's a lot of places I've never heard of, a lot of backwater, probably lots of drugs involved. The 6-year-old was found. No, not correct. I'll read Jojo. You say the 6-year-old was found near the 4-year-old. No, I'm going to get into this story and tell it to you all. So let me go over his criminal history so I can get at his face. Yeah, it's a common story, but at the same time, it was breaking news yesterday. These two little girls' faces, beautiful little girls' faces, were showed up online as an Amber Alert at first. So here are the victims. I'm going to put this down in the bottom so you know their names. We want to keep their names out there as well, even though they're children. So Callie Brunett, and they say the name's different in every one, so it's weird. Callie and Erin and Jaylee. All of them were family members. It's a mom and her two daughters. Okay, the 6-year-old, Jaylee, was a survivor. The other two passed. The 6-year-old was found in the trunk of the car. Thank you. I'm going to tell the whole story, everybody. I'm glad you guys know it's very sad. Thank you, Melanie Copeland. It gets even sadder and it gets even crazier because there's an accomplice involved, and the accomplice that's involved is another female. Could you imagine that? This has to be drugs involved. I can't even imagine. And yes, Jaylee is going to be traumatized for the rest of her life, I'm sure. So thank you all for being here. And even though I'm not doing the one case that everybody wants today, we gotta cover other victims and get Callie and Erin and Jaylee's name out there. And we got to make sure Daniel Callihan is prosecuted to the fullest, especially since we have him confessing on video. And I'm going to play that as well. MJ Ortiz says, "Hi, Jay. I love your channel. I watch you while working from home. Hope you enjoy your wife's birthday weekend. Thank you for keeping us updated and promoting awareness." You're welcome. Thank you all for being here. And Loranger. Okay. Loranger. Thank you for correcting me. I like to know all the names as I go through the cases. Loranger. All right. A lot of times I read these things and people say things weird. They spell Daniel's name different. They spell it Callahan in a typical way, and then they spell it the way they did here. So we don't care about him particularly. He's the monster, and I'm going to read his charges from before. So Daniel Callihan, his charges date back to 2008. He has burglary, theft, aggravated battery, simple burglary, simple assault. Then in 2009, he pled guilty with 12-year suspended sentence, which is he shouldn't even be out. 2014 probation violation, and then the court ordered him to serve 5 years. I'm going to show the victims to you. I want to put their face on as I read you the story. Let me see if I can zoom in, not on him. So that's him before, which is interesting. Let me go back here. It's interesting that that's how he looked when he didn't look all crazy and methed out, isn't it? All right, so there's the two little girls. Trigger warning. This is definitely a trigger warning, folks. One angel passed, one angel lived. Callie's the mother, you see there up on the right next to the demon in the middle. All right, so there's the mother and her two daughters, Callie, Aaron, and Callie Brunett. Remember those names because we're going to talk about them quite a bit. Big change, adorable kids. Yeah, that's what that does to you, and I can almost guarantee you that's a situation. So let me read this to you real quick. I'm going to give you an overview, and then we're going to get into the news. I'm going to show you the press conference that happened. You're going to hear him. You're going to hear Daniel confessing. You're going to see the woman that was an accomplice getting captured. All of that today. All right. So it started out as an abduction, and then he, took the lives of Callie and her, they say 4 years old, and then one says 3, Aaron, daughters. Okay, so 35-year-old Callie was an on again, off again with Laranger, Louisiana. She was found passed away at her home on North Cooper Road. Her father reported her missing after not hearing from her from over 24 hours. On the same day, her two daughters, Aaron, 4 years old, and Callie, 6. See, on there, they say 3 and 6. So as the story comes out, we'll get it corrected. And hello, Crime to Remember. Hello, PG Deb. All right. So, yeah, this can't be played in the background. What can't be played in the background? What are we talking about, folks? All right. Let me put I'm not sure what we're talking about, but I'm going to put the little, see if I can show you pictures of like without him. Zoom in on so you can see like the whole deal, the capture down below. Let's hide this. You can see him from here to here. This is Callie. Her life got taken, and this little one, Aaron. Okay, they were dating. This is what drugs do to you, and he was captured. So all of this, I think the police did a really good job in moving fast. The Amber Alert, I believe, helped quite a bit. And we're going to watch that. His pics can't be played in the background. What do you mean? Well, I can take them out if you want, but I wanted to show the whole picture of what was happening from the little girls to him and Callie meeting him, and then this happening to the children. So I heard it mentioned that Aaron had a birthday coming up, so that's probably what happened. So I'm putting his picture because I want people to know who we're talking about while I'm telling a story, and then we're going to get into it because you won't see their faces this good. Okay, so Callie's 35 from Laranger, found passed in her home. Her father reported it. On the same day, the two daughters went missing, Aaron and Callie, and there was an Amber Alert from their home in I can't say Tangipahoa. I'm going to say Tangipahoa, Louisiana. Okay, so the Amber Alert comes out. Now, Carly sent me this, and I showed the Amber Alert of the missing girls. I had no idea what happened. Then I looked again, and I saw Daniel, an on again, off again boyfriend of Callie Brunett, was the suspect in it, and I had no idea anybody was passed away. So they captured him in Jackson, Mississippi after a chase with law enforcement. Now, Aaron's body was found more than 100 miles away in Jackson, Mississippi, while Callie was found alive in the mother's car. Okay, now Daniel confessed, and we're going to play that today. Openly to the news, he said it openly about the taking of the life of 3-year-old Aaron. He says, I have no reason for what I did. and he revealed that he was diagnosed with borderline multiple personalities. Callahan was also on unalive watch, but he claimed to not be. So he actually said he welcomes the death penalty, considering lethal injection the easiest option for him. So he wants his easiest way out, folks, already. This is very sad, folks, and these are the kind of things that happen. And we have to keep these little girls' names out there so that we can follow it through the system. I don't know if they're going to give him the death penalty or they're going to try to do a plea. I have no idea, but one of them is alive. Okay, so one of them actually survived. Yes, Princess Mish. Yes. Thank you, Carly, for gifting a membership. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Now, he was released from the psychiatric ward not too long ago. He said he did it. Yes, he's wanted. That's the story I'm telling you right now, and then I'm going to show you. You know me, I'm visual, so I got to play my clips of everything. So now, I didn't even know that Victoria Cox, there was an accomplice, and it's a woman. A 32-year-old woman was arrested as an accomplice in the case. She'd been intimately involved with Callahan recently. Both Callahan and Cox were charged with capital murder and SAing, folks. They SA'd these people, and I don't know how deep that goes yet. Did you know that? Yeah, Victoria Cox, you're going to see her too. She's a female, and they not only abducted, took their lives, but they also got SAing charges as well. There's also trafficking involved in this case, folks. All right. So right now, as a family goes through a difficult time, we're trying to bring this to people so they understand what's going on in a not so harsh way. Yeah, too many Cox. How many people have that name? Yeah, very disturbing. All right, so I'm going to bring it to you, folks. You see their names. Hit that like as you come in, and I'm going to get down to the story with videos. All right, so we have videos, and we're going to go in the order that I believe that we should, so I can tell the entire story. All right, normally I don't leave you in suspense. You know what happens, and I bring you the story as it unfolds. I kind of give you the ending. That's why I like the guilty of crime when people are guilty or accused guilty, so I can tell you about what happened and then go back and show you. So hence the name guilty of crime. Now this is where it all started, okay? There's a live Amber Alert and suspect is arrested. One child is passed. All right, let's go. Hang in there with me, folks, and I'll talk to you while we go through this. And you know me, I go through the 1.25 speed. We're starting from Amber Alert.
In this case,
Trigger warning.
We have detectives on scene in Jackson, Mississippi. Early in the investigation, we'd received information this car hit on a camera up in Jackson. So we were looking in that area as well as local area just to see. So that's why once the marshal service up there in Mississippi.
All right, it's a little low, so I apologize about that. Let me turn my air off. Maybe you can, but I got it pumped up as loud as I could. This is the live Amber Alert yesterday, and here's the story. I got it all for you, folks.
The authorities responded to this Amber Alert and were able to quickly locate our subject. That's why our detectives was able to respond so quickly. It's because we had already been in that area, checking with local law enforcement, trying to run down video cameras, trying to see, where our vehicle was, what our suspect and our two young children.
We know the relationship of Daniel Callihan to Callie.
They were involved in a relationship. They dated.
Do you believe Daniel Callihan is the person that killed Callie Brunett?
I mean, we have to wait.
This is directly from the news station. I wish I could make it louder. I got it on full blast, folks. I'm sorry about that. If you could just turn it up as much as you can go, and I promise they'll get better. This is the press conference of the Amber Alert. Let me see what I could do, but just turn it up.
Put all the evidence together, but I don't know who else it would be. It would,
Do you know how he killed a 4-year-old?
No, we just, like I said, this is just, our deputies are just on scene there now. I mean, this just happened in the last 30 minutes. So,
and thank you.
Assessing it. Our detectives just made contact with the victim's family, and I believe he is going to be driving the victim's family to Jackson, Mississippi, to pick up the 6-year-old
And
and bring her back.
Travis, and I'm so sorry that this happened. My condolences to the family. So you're saying that Daniel Callihan was found in Jackson, Mississippi.
Daniel Callihan was apprehended in Jackson, Mississippi by authorities there. He had
So Daniel Callahan was apprehended in Jackson, Mississippi. So he's all over the place, folks. I'll kind of, as we go, I'll translate this for you since it's hard to hear. It is from the news station, and it was the live Amber Alert, and he's telling you what I told you, but I wanted to hear the questions that they ask and go through it with you. So
the victim's car along
trigger warning.
with her alive and well 6-year-old child, and in a wooded area close proximity to the car, the body of the 4-year-old has been located.
He just laid the body out. It wasn't buried or anything.
I cannot answer that. Like I said, we are on scene right now. Our detectives is up there starting the crime scene.
Chief, I'm sorry for joining late here. Just for camera purposes, can you restate? So Daniel Callihan is the suspect that you were searching for.
Correct.
Part of the Amber Alert.
Right.
See, they're having trouble even there. You can barely hear them, and they're having trouble even understanding what he's saying, folks. They're having trouble understanding that Daniel Callihan is a suspect that's now arrested, and he was arrested in what did I say, Mississippi, and the child that was alive was found in the car, and the other two were, one of them was 100 miles away and the other one was past. So they're having the press is having trouble understanding and following up. And then also this officers not talking loud are very clear.
Is he from the Louisiana area? Is he from this area?
Yes.
His age?
Give me a
It's
moment.
hard to hear.
Let me check something here.
I have his age, folks. I think he's 32 years old.
I'd have to get with the detectives to get his age and stuff like that. I'd have to get with the detectives.
And Chief, just something like this to happen. I know you all have been really working hard to find these girls. Just for it to come to this, for us to find out about this 4-year-old. I know you say you knew the family. The family's well known in the area.
Right. I mean, it's just it's a senseless tragedy. And once we started looking, and like I said, we were, it was a large presence here. We checked everything here. We worked the crime scene here for the homicide, but we had feelers out.
Yeah.
Through Amber Alerts.
I could barely hear him too, so I'm going to switch it to, I'm going to stop sharing this one. I don't know what they did with this one, but here I have a Amber Alert. Let's do this instead. It's not much longer, but I'm going to go ahead and see if it plays any better. And I have a whole bunch more of the story to tell, folks. We're barely even touching anything. We're barely even breaking it. So let's take a look and I'll tell you the story if you can. They don't have his age yet. Okay, so she's 35, the mother, and I'll keep these up so we know. Callie is 35. Aaron just turned 4, so I'll correct that. She was 3. She had just had a birthday. She turned 4, and then Jaylee is 6. I'll put that below so we know all their names. If we can't get the volume right, then I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to break everything down for you. I have everything ready to go. And yeah, this guy's trying to tell the story, but it's not very clear. The sheriff's office said Callahan led authorities to the car where Jaylee, the 6-year-old Brunett, was found alive, then led officers to the body of Aaron Brunett. Jackson police said during a news conference that the surviving child was taken to a hospital to receive treatment. They are working to determine the manner of death for each of the children. Based on the crime scene, what it looks like, this may be the place where there has been some human trafficking. Now, that's where that comes in. Jackson police chief said, "We see cages, small animals. This is very, very disturbing to the police, and as a father, to witness and see what I saw." All right. So it's believed that Callahan took the life of Brunett. According to Edwards, Callahan was found after a suspicious person reported him in Jackson. A brief chase with Callahan led to his arrest. Louisiana State Police issued an Amber Alert at 12:20 for the missing girls. Then Edwards said the homicide investigation began Thursday morning in Laranger on North Cooper Road. that's where 35-year-old Callie was found passed in her home. And you'll see her home. They blurred out the children, but I showed you them. They're all over the place. So it's hard to understand this guy. Let me see if it doesn't get better, I won't play it. Oh, we got music though. Hold on, sorry. It just keeps opening Amazon.
This is breaking news on WDSU.
And right now, an all-out search for two little girls in Tangipahoa Parish after their mother was discovered dead early this morning. Let's send it over to LaRonja right now out of Tangipahoa Parish. Jimmy Travis speaking on behalf of the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office.
All right, it's better now.
Okay, this morning, approximately 8 a.m.
There you go,
victim's father
folks.
discovered her body in the mobile home behind me. Her 4-year-old and 6-year-old child, along with the car, is missing. She was actually reported missing by her parents last night. And at that time, deputies started searching through her phone, different things like that, trying to locate her whereabouts. No one, including her parents, believed that her body was still here in the house. They thought that she didn't come home and might have been someplace else. So we started our investigation last night of trying to locate her and the kids, putting all the information in.
All right, so this is much better, folks, and I'm glad we found this. Thank you for hanging in with me, Adam, kind of down in Jay's neck of the woods today. What's up, Adam? All right, let's listen to this Amber Alert. This guy talks low anyway, so now we can hear.
The national computer sending out bolos, trying to do phone pings on her phone and all that stuff to get a location of her. This morning, her father made entry into her mobile home, locked mobile home, and found his deceased daughter on the bedroom floor. Unable to find her 4-year-old and 6-year-old child, and her car's missing. We had an Amber Alert just went out just moments ago. We sent out photos to the media and stuff of the two children, along with the actual picture of the car. State Police Crime Lab is here working the crime scene. State Police is helping, FBI, Department of Corrections. They're bringing in a team just to search the woods for precautionary.
Now remember, this is when the Amber Alert hit. A lot of you saw this, maybe many of you didn't. A lot of you are starting to learn about this case, and we're going to learn about everything starting from the Amber Alert up until today. So we've got the press conference for you. We've got the confession. We've got it all today, folks. Yeah, this guy, oh my God, that whisper just creeped me out. Someone said, this officer talks really low. So thank you for hanging in there. And I can't speed this up either. So it's as slow as he talks.
In the area, our detectives are basically wide open trying to run down every lead. Our technical divisions are busy with that type of stuff, searching social medias, different things like that. All the stuff that we do in an investigation to locate a suspect, we have just fast forwarded that to find these two children.
Are there any people right now that you're looking at in terms of?
We don't have a known we do not have a known suspect that we can release a name or anything at this time, in any kind of hard facts or anything like that. So the whereabouts of these children are unknown. The last contact the parents had with the deceased was Tuesday afternoon. She was discovered this morning. So, that being said, you're talking about a 36-hour gap there that someone could have taken those two children along with her car that's missing. And, you could be halfway across the country by now.
And Chief
So
Travis.
we're not sure if they're just, those children are in this area or in a surrounding area.
All right. So keep in mind, we're going in chronological order backwards. This was 4 days ago. And then I'm going to take you to 3 days ago when they caught him. And then we're going to catch up until where we are now. Thank you all again for being here. And Melanie says hello to Wolfpack. Thank you all for being here to hear this tragic story. Luckily, one of them survived, although I don't know As long as they get her proper therapy and a loving family, she'll do okay, I hope. Send prayers for her. Hello, Wolfpack, Petty Mason, everybody that's here. Thank you. Let's keep listening to this live Amber Alert 4 days ago.
We're not sure. I mean, that's what we're working on, and we're trying to get every resource that's available out there to assist us in finding these two children.
Can you describe anything about the scene in terms of where
All-
the victim was found? And
All we can say, all we're saying is she was found in the bedroom, and it was an obvious homicide.
And Chief Travis, just when it comes to when the last time the parents actually spoke with her, did she talk about there being any issues that she was
They were
having?
talking about taking out the garbage or something like that. You know, it was no kind of,
That's
she
crazy.
wasn't reaching out for help or was anything like that. I mean, it's just a normal conversation between family members.
Have you all been in contact?
Yes, it's a Louisiana Amber Alert, and I believe Daniel Callihan is from Mississippi. That's why it even came up, or he traveled there. We're going to hear as we go, but it is in Louisiana, Laranger. And that's what everybody heard yesterday, the Laranger abduction and then possible trafficking, but it may not be trafficking. We may find out the cages are for breeding. Breeding animals is common that in that area. Now Daniel was captured in Jackson, Mississippi after the law enforcement chased him. So that's where it gets a little confusing about where and what.
With the father or fathers of the children?
Yes, we have. We've been in contact with those.
Is there anything that leads you to believe that the children are in danger at this point?
It's so low.
Yes, we feel like they're in danger because, I mean, their mother's been brutally murdered. So, I mean, our concern right now is for the safety of these children and getting them returned back to their grandparents.
Was she shot, Chief? I'm sorry.
The coroner's office and the state police crime lab will be working that. I can just say that there was obvious blood everywhere, and she was
Trigger
deceased.
warning.
Chief, the Amber Alert said 3 and full. Do you know the ages of the girls?
The girls, one of the girls was born in 2017, and the other girl was born in 2012.
So we now know they're 4 and 6. Okay, and I have the names down there. We have Jaylee, which is 6, and we have Aaron, which is 4. So this is Jaylee. She survived, and Aaron did not survive. Right now, they have the Amber Alert, and they're looking for the 2 children. They've already found Callie passed away in her house brutally.
20.
Chief, can you describe,
October, both.
Chief, can you describe how crucial this time period right now?
This time period is very crucial. We need to find these children. We are now reaching out to the media, social media, and good-hearted citizens. Our citizens and our people in our communities in this state is who's going to help law enforcement find these children and get them safely returned. And that's what we're asking. Just blast this, let everybody know. Y'all have the pictures of these 2 girls we're looking for.
Yeah, and let everybody know about this case. Let's make sure there's utter and complete justice and that these girls get taken care of. If we find a GoFundMe or we find some kind of support put up for the survivor. I keep forgetting her name because there's so many names in there. Jaylee. Let's help this family out if we can. We're going to follow this case.
You have a picture of the car, put it out there, share it far and wide, and we're asking and praying for their safe return.
And no leads whatsoever?
No. We're still...
How strange of a scene is it? Because we're out in the country here.
It's so low.
Quiet area.
This is a very quiet, this is a community. And this girl and her family has been members of this community for many generations. And I mean, it's going to be felt throughout the community. But like I said, we can't do anything else now for Kylie. We have to find these children. That's what we got to do. And that's where our priorities are.
The Amber Alert says it's a white suspect. A male is a white, that's the suspect is a white male. Is this a domestic situation, you believe?
So
I can't
low.
answer that right now.
Chief,
You know, I was sitting here as the Amber Alert went out. I'm not sure exactly what all information was in that because I hadn't read the physical Amber Alert. I've just been here with the sheriff's office and all the other agencies that's come forward to help us out, and just discussing, priorities and investigations, and where we need to look next. Where's the next stone unturned? That's what we're working on.
Is the priority right now to find the children, or is it multiple investigations parallel right now because of the murder?
I mean, we have the crime scene in that process, and the crime scene in the homicide side of it. But that's 5% of this effort. The rest of the effort is to locate these children.
Chief.
Now, we are going to locate these children. There's demons on this earth, I truly believe. Glad you're covering this jam late. It's okay, because we're telling the story from 4 days ago, and we're working up until now. There's an Amber Alert. They're looking for the children. They found the mother. Callie passed away, and we're moving from there. I always tell you first what happens, and then I show you what happens. Beautiful little girls, and we're going to keep going. Thank you, Jess, for sending me that possible trafficking that they're talking about. I'll show you a clip of that in a bit. Let's get through this, that I can't speed up, and it's driving me nuts.
In the picture that you sent, where was that picture taken of the car, and do you know who was driving it at the time?
We don't have the driver's information, and we're not releasing that location at this point in time.
If something like this to happen, if you could tell the person or persons who did this anything right now, what would you say if they're watching?
Please turn the children over to someone. Get them safe. Call law enforcement to pick them up. If you don't do it, take them to the nearest hospital and drop them off at the ER.
I gotta say, the police worked really fast on this one. It's very interesting how this unfolded from an Amber Alert to 4 days later. We have a full-blown investigation, people caught, and a giant story, and I think more's to come. So stay in there with me.
Or drop them off. Just drop them off someplace safe. Get them back safe. We're begging for that.
Chief Travis, was a weapon recovered at the scene? Bullet casing?
All right. As I said before, they're currently working the scene now. Once we found the body, we backed out. We secured the scene because we did not want to jeopardize destroying any evidence or anything like that, because the State Police Crime Lab, who is probably one of the most experienced, the most qualified, and the best equipped in the state of Louisiana. So they're in here behind me. They're processing what we call processing the scene. We'll be processing the body.
Yeah, prayers.
And once they're finished, they're going to take everything that they collect back to their lab, where they'll start testing and providing us with the result.
They absolutely don't play, folks, and I'm glad somebody called it in right away. They found the mother, which was tragic. We were hoping to find both children alive. That wasn't the case.
All right. Anything else?
We're getting there.
So that's your fancy money. That's your fancy.
And again, right now, an all-out parish-wide, statewide search for two little girls who are now missing after their mother was murdered early this morning inside her home in Laranja. Right now, police are looking.
Okay, now I hear Laranja. Thank you. So this is what happened 4 days ago. Amber Alert. And now we're going to find how quickly they moved. We're going to find out how quickly they moved and show you. They moved fairly quickly, and you'll see what led up to everything and them catching him. This should be 3 days ago. Let's listen.
At the top of the hour here, we start with the brutal murder of a mother and the kidnapping of her 6- and 4-year-old daughters. The 4-year-old girl was found dead. The 6-year-old was found alive after an Amber Alert was issued yesterday afternoon as authorities searched for those young girls. A suspect has been taken into custody, and the FBI, we know, is now taking over this investigation. Lily Cummings reports.
We're on Bouger Drive in Jackson, Mississippi, where detectives say they located the suspect, the victim's car, and her 2 missing girls. The Tangipahoa Sheriff's Office says 35-year-old was found dead in her Laranja home Thursday morning. Her father came to check on her after the family hadn't heard from Brunett since Tuesday night. When he arrived, his daughter was dead, and her car and 2 young children were missing. An Amber Alert was issued for Aaron and Callie Brunett. Authorities say Callie is 6, but there is some confusion between agencies whether Aaron is 3 or 4. U.S. Marshals were able to track the car 2 hours north to Jackson, Mississippi.
There was a suspicious suspect checking houses or whatever, checking doorknobs and stuff like that. So after getting the description of him, there was a marshal or undercover officer in the area that saw this guy, went to apprehend him. He fled. There was a foot pursuit. He was apprehended.
The suspect is 36-year-old Daniel Callihan. The Tangipahoa Sheriff's Office says Callahan was Brunett's on-again, off-again boyfriend and was not the father of either child. Detectives found Aaron dead in this wooded area near Bouger Drive. Big sister Jaylee was injured and taken to the hospital, but is expected to be okay.
I told you, folks, I'm going to tell you the complete story. Don't you worry. And now you know. You just saw that. You guys can go back and watch it after if you came in late. It's going to all unfold right now.
The thing is to bring this 6-year-old back to her grandparents. You know, I mean, she's been through something that most of us hopefully never ever get to experience.
This investigation has been turned over to the FBI. In Jackson, Lily Cummings.
Oh, hold on. So they're booking him in. I stopped sharing it because I didn't. I want to show you this because they're booking him, and I want to play this in chronological order for you. So let me just. I want to make sure you know the full story.
Booked into the Rankin County Jail at 8 this morning. Winston Reed will have a live report coming up at 5:30 for us. Stick with us throughout the morning as we continue to bring you updates on this story.
No, folks, here's the twist. He's not working alone. Not only are they talking about trafficking, but they're also talking. I also have I have another suspect, and there's somebody that's working with him, and we're going to get there. She's also going to get caught. So I feel like they did a really good job so far. They moved really quickly. I'm happy about that. I'm not happy about what's happened, but yeah, this is a son of a convicted murderer already, and they're talking about trafficking. So I'm going to play this clip real quick that Jess played. Right now, you know what's happened. You've seen the suspect. They tracked him down. You saw how they tracked him down. Now listen to this, and then I'll get back to the chronological order of it. I just want to show you that this guy, it doesn't fall. The apple never falls far from the tree, folks. So listen to this, and then you're going to hear Daniel Callihan confessing to the murders, and you're also going to see the suspect that also got caught. He had an accomplice with him, folks. All right, so let's listen to this. I'll speed it up just in case it's another one of those.
Has been looking into the criminal history of Cox, Callahan, and their relatives, and we're going to take you back to 1990. A man named Kelly Brunett killed 18-year-old Rebecca Forbes and dumped her body into the Tangipahoa River.
Brunett is Daniel Callahan's father. He took his own life after escaping from prison, kidnapping a teenager and shooting another woman. News 2's Bess Casterly spoke with Rebecca Forbes' mother.
All right, so trigger warning, folks. This is a Laranger kidnapping, and we're talking about, and I told you at the very beginning, Daniel Callahan's history, and now we know about his dad. His dad was a convicted murderer also who unalived himself after a police chase. So this is a little bit of his history, and then we'll listen to him confess, talk about his accomplice, and everything else going on.
About this bad bloodline.
Sylvia, Michael, when it comes to this troubled family history, it appears the bad apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
And she said, Mom, I don't know if I should tell you this or not, but I'm hearing that the guy that kidnapped those two little children is the son of Kelly Wayne Drott. And it brought it all back.
Friday morning, Virginia Freeman was jolted back to the worst time of her life nearly 25 years ago.
She was going in the Navy.
News of Daniel Callahan's arrest for the murder of Callie Brunett and her 4-year-old daughter brought everything back up.
She was going to graduate in May
when she discovered he's the son of the man who killed her daughter, Rebecca.
Rebecca Forbes was reported missing April 29th after she didn't return home from a day at the Italian festival in Independence, Louisiana. The next night, Forbes' blood-stained shirt was found on this road about a mile east of Amite, Louisiana. That was the beginning of a 3-week search by law enforcement officials from 4 agencies. an ordeal that had the Forbes family in turmoil. Authorities asked for home videos of the festival, hoping to spot Forbes in the crowd. Officials say they received about 5 videos and talked with many people.
Over this 3-week period, our detectives have questioned many suspects.
This is crazy, right? This story gets crazier and crazier. And thank you, Jess. I don't even know what your name is right now, if it's not the mama or what, but I call you Jess. Thank you for sending me this particular clip. We're not done covering this, so there's a lot besides this clip and more. We got a big story, and it's getting deeper and deeper, and it's going to continue as court starts and trials and hearings and so forth.
That suspect is 23-year-old Kelly Wayne Drott, an Amite resident. Authorities say they found blood and hair samples and other evidence in his car linking him to the incident. Officials believe Drott and Forbes left the festival together. They say Drott drove to this location and allegedly beat Forbes to death, stuffed her body into the trunk of his car, and threw her off the Tangipahoa River Bridge.
She had been in the river for 3 weeks on a sand pile. And they were lucky enough to find.
Yeah, this case is a massive trigger warning, folks, and a crime to remember. He's been using that excuse for years. It is definitely an excuse. The daughter that survived, Jaylee, we hope she gets therapy and a loving family and the help she needs, so we don't repeat any sort or semblance of this. Absolutely. So let's thank you. Hashtag Callie our angel. All right, let's keep going. Just hashtag if you're sensitive to the the brutality of children and what's going on here all around.
Which there wasn't very much of her left.
Drott confessed to killing her, but always claimed it was an accident. He pleaded guilty to manslaughter and was given a 25-year sentence. However, he escaped his New Orleans prison and went on the run with another woman who he later shot. During his time on the lam, he kidnapped a teenage girl and later shot himself to death.
I would just...
Now, keep in mind, that's Daniel Callihan's dad. He escaped, went on the run, and then took his life. So again, I always say the same thing. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It's a continuation of what's happened. The sister's in the hospital right now. They have very qualified doctors. I don't know if they're going to interview her. You say they're going to have qualified doctors interview. Yeah, but we're not going to see much because she's a child. So apple doesn't fall far. His dad did similar things, except he took his own life. And now Daniel wants them to take his.
Describe him as a very disturbed, probably had a very bad childhood.
Callahan was only a toddler at the time, and it's unclear what his relationship with his father was, but he did not take his last name. The crimes he's accused of are eerily similar to his father's.
Very.
Did he grow up knowing that his daddy was a killer and then he turned out to be one too? You know, how can that be?
Freeman says, though it happened in 1990, it still feels like yesterday, even more so now that this has happened.
I have forgiven him, but I haven't forgotten. And it was very hard. Still is.
Yeah, this is crazy. So, these are not big towns. These are small towns where everybody knows everybody. I saw somebody in here saying they were close to this area. And when this kind of thing happens, it traumatizes the town for a long time. It traumatizes families. People are connected. It's cousins, uncles, sisters. We're going to see the neighbor's reaction in a bit. We're going to see the sister's reaction. And we're gonna hear Daniel Callihan himself confess to this right on TV. I feel bad for the baby that survived. Her family says, and she has to remember this. I will keep her in my prayers. I feel bad for mama and baby that didn't make it. And I agree. Thank you all for being here. And Jojo, thank you always. And once again, for gifting a membership. Make sure your memberships are on, folks. Bree says, I'm close to the area. Jackson's a scary place. I don't doubt it with the things that are going on. Lots of drugs, folks.
Both the woman shot and kidnapped during his time on the run survived that ordeal. Callahan is a native of Independence, but according to his arrest documents, his most recent address is listed as homeless in Brandon, Mississippi. In the newsroom, Beth Casserly, WBRZ News 2.
All right. So as we always say, the apple doesn't fall far. We know that now. And we're going to listen to this crazy man. Like something's wrong with his brain, obviously, when you do something like that. But he takes a pill, and I'm not sure what he's trying to blame it on. Let's watch this.
We're continuing to find out more about the investigation into the tragic discovery of a mother found dead in Tangipahoa Parish. Law enforcement later found one of her daughters dead in
Keep in mind, this is within days, folks. So if you just came in, say a prayer for Callie and Jaylee, who passed. Or Callie and Aaron, who passed. Jaylee survived. This is a kidnapping, brutal, lives taken, and confessions, accomplices, past history with a parent, just an abusive, and I'm sure filled with lots of different kinds of drugs. This guy says he was not on any, though. It's really weird. Listen to this.
Jackson, Mississippi as well. The second daughter was found alive. Good evening, I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Cherise Gibson. Today we learned more about the suspect Daniel Callihan and his long history of alleged domestic abuse against women. And we also learned that a woman was arrested for allegedly being Callahan's accomplice.
Lily Cummings is joining us.
There you go. We're going to see that. We're going to hear that. We're going to see her. We're going to see him. It just gets bigger and bigger. Now, Callie used to date this Daniel Callihan monster off and on. So, yeah, it's not her current boyfriend. It was an ex-boyfriend. Well, they were off and on. So, I don't know what made him go off on her, but the accomplice is a current girlfriend. I don't know how many. This guy, did you see what he looks like? I don't know how many girlfriends that this guy had or what he was doing, but boy.
It's live tonight from Tangipahoa Parish with an update from the sheriff there. Lily?
Thank you, JoJo. Lily, where are you at?
Question here live at 6 o'clock. I would like to
Okay, I don't want you to miss this, folks. Here is the suspect, Daniel Callihan. All right. And he's going to tell them all about it. He's going to tell them he did it, and he's going to tell them his reasoning. Very weird. Let me rewind it a bit because it went fast. I wanted you to see this monster. If you didn't know who it is, it's Daniel Callihan, and he abducted 2 children. One was found passed with mother Callie. We have Callie and Aaron, who passed away, 4 years old, and Jaylee, who's still alive, 6 years old. Thank the Lord above, whatever you want to call it. He's very creepy, and I don't know how he gets lots of women. He almost looks like Charles Manson, and not just because of the hair and the beard, but those black eyes and just his stature. Listen to him.
I would like to unfortunately, on Lexapro, sober, no drugs in my system, I did.
Why?
All right, listen, folks. I'm going to play it again because he says, unfortunately, on Lexapro, with no drugs in my system, I did it. And I have this at normal speed, so I'm going to play it one more time because it goes really quick. He literally just said that. He said, I did it on Lexapro, no other drugs. And Lexapro, I think, is like some anti-depression pill. Mark me if I'm wrong, but it's something like that. He shouldn't have done that with that. So let's listen to him say that again. It's hard to hear him.
Unfortunately, on Lexapro, sober, no drugs in my system, I did.
Why? Why did you kill the 3-year-old girl?
I have no reason for what I did. All I know is I want to say I was sober and only on Lexapro and off Lexapro. And I'm also diagnosed borderline with the multiple personality disorder. And I have not got to help to a lawyer. And I'm on suicide watch, but I'm not suicidal. But I think it was the side effects of the Lexapro.
Did you kill her mom?
His mom.
Aaron's mom.
I'm at Rankin County Jail. If y'all would like
Do you hear this, folks? I mean, this is the perp walk, and that rarely happens. So thank you, Petty Mason Deb. It is a antidepressant. He's saying he was sober, and he's trying to say that it was the side effects of Lexapro is why he did it. Rarely do you ever get a confession like that on video through the media in that type of way. That was kind of like a perp walk kind of thing. And he said it on the news, national news, that he did it. I don't know how he's going to come back from that. I know he's trying to, red flag city for me is he's trying to use that as an excuse, which is none, but it's really weird that he does that. You don't get that often. So this is definitely one of those things to mark in your history book. What's up, Tiffany Knox? How you doing? Hi, I saw you the other night on Oblivious Benson's channel. Under the Jail. Yeah, Lexapro's an antidepressant. I take it and I'm not violent, Stonefly says. So we hear it from another angle. Let's listen one more time. He says it very nonchalant and just chill, and then I'll move on. I just can't believe he said this, and this is never going to go away for him. I wonder if it's going to ever make it to trial or if they're going to give him a plea deal.
So diagnosed borderline with multiple personality disorder.
This is him making up his excuse, folks. So if he just came in here, he's giving himself a reason.
My system, I did.
Why? Why did you kill the 3-year-old girl?
I have no reason for what I did. All I know is I want to say I was sober and only on Lexapro and off Lexapro. And I'm also diagnosed borderline with multiple personality disorder. And I have not got to help to a lawyer. And I'm on suicide watch, but I'm not suicidal. But I think it was the side effects of the Lexapro.
Did you kill her mom?
His mom.
Aaron's mom.
I'm at Rankin County Jail if y'all would like an interview.
Do you regret what you did?
Completely.
You regret what you did?
I would kill me, and I have told them everything that I did, and I have agreed to not fight it. Speedy trial, and whatever it is.
You hope for the death penalty?
For what I did, lethal injection is the easiest thing for me.
Are you pretending to be crazy?
Oh, I'm not pretending to be crazy. Look me up in Region 8, borderline multiple personality disorder. You better look it up.
So you have no...
Crazy. I'm sorry.
This is odd, folks. Rarely do you ever get that. He definitely seems proud of himself. He sounds way too proud. He sounds like he's obviously trying to just, I did it. Let's bring it on. Give me what you will. But yeah, unbelievable. You hardly ever see this. Definitely a narcissistic, more than narcissistic, psychopathic, all kinds of things. It was brutal what he did to them. There's SA charges, there's abuse, there's death. I mean, this is bad. And there's no shame. He loves attention. He says, come over and get an interview, but there's just too many things that I'm like, whoa, you rarely see this. So I'm sideways. Yeah, I think that is what he said. Yeah. I don't know, but sounds like the guy loves attention. He likes violence and attention, folks. And yeah, I agree. He needs hell now. He didn't even remember who the mother was. He said, who?
I was only at that house 2 weeks now.
All right, so I'm gonna stop that. And y'all, this is crazy. Okay. So we're gonna come back. Yeah, I agree with that. Now we're gonna talk about the suspect. Yeah. I'm never speechless. So I always have something to say. And what I have to say is this man is, I don't know what kind of crazy he is, but there's another suspect, believe it or not. And here she is. Let's talk about her and see her.
We have developments in the child abduction case that ended with the death of.
Now, keep in mind, folks, 4 days for the Amber Alert. They caught him 2 days, and then now we're working 4 days, 3 days. We're working backwards, and then now we're at, I think this was 2 days ago, and then we'll work up to, like yesterday update. This happened all over the weekend. Yeah, let me buckle up is right. I told you earlier, trigger warning and buckle up, folks. This is not for the faint of heart. So there's a second suspect arrested. I told you earlier. Her name is Victoria Cox. She's a 32-year-old woman who was arrested in the case. She'd been intimately involved with Callahan recently. Both Callahan and Cox were both charged with capital murder and SAing. Isn't that crazy that they had a second person? And so that's why they start bringing trafficking into it, because of the history, finding the crates, etc. All right, so this whole case is a trigger warning to everybody. Let's go.
Of a 4-year-old in South Jackson. 12 News' Richard Lake joins us live now from the scene on Bougere Drive. Richard, what can you tell us?
Well, Melanie, Jackson Police Chief Joseph Wade announced that there has been a second suspect arrested in connection to this case. That's 32-year-old Victoria Cox. Now, Cox is suspected to be the girlfriend of 36-year-old Daniel Callihan. According to Chief Wade, Callahan was arrested Thursday afternoon in connection to the death of Callie Brunett and the kidnapping of her two daughters, 4-year-old.
And there's the second monster, folks. Can you imagine a female? Well, we can, right? Because we've been watching the Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto, and she's just hiding behind the scenes. Victoria was a neighbor to the mom. Okay, we're gonna hear from the neighbor as well. This is absolutely crazy, and I see one crazy, but then how do you get a female involved in a capital and an SA in charges for a woman and two children? Where do these people come from? And can you believe that?
Aaron and 6-year-old Jaylee. Law enforcement discovered the 4-year-old's remains in the woods surrounding Bougere Drive on Thursday. Chief Wade says Cox was arrested with the help of multiple law enforcement agencies.
She was arrested at 3880
Well, we know it was brutal so far. Somebody asked me what the COD is. I don't think they've released that yet. There hasn't been autopsies or anything. This just happened. So we're going to find out as we go. And she's so-called sober too, folks. This is a little low, so you got to turn it up as high as you can. I'm sorry that this is the only one I have.
55 South Oyo Hotel here in South Jackson. Of course, it was a collaborative effort again between the FBI task force, Jackson PD, U.S. Marshals, and the Rankin County Sheriff's Department. She was brought into custody. She's being questioned as we speak. At this particular time, when you talk about injury, hurt, harm to children, when you talk about taking kids across state lines, when you're talking about killing their mother to kidnap them, I don't know how much more heinous it could get.
There's the walk of shame again, folks, and we have two devils here. And yeah, there's another case in Pascal, Florida. The whole family. There's not enough time to cover all these cases. I wish that I could. Thank you, Jojo, for another gifted membership. We have 294 people in chat. I appreciate you all for being here. There's some new folks here. I hope you get gifted. Both of them are demons, absolute demons on this planet, folks. Be careful who you bring into your life. Now, these demons you can spot. They look like demons, and they are pretty trashy, and you can tell that they're on probably lots of different kinds of drugs. But yeah, demons on earth find each other. Sometimes you can't tell, and this time you can. Other times not. Melanie Copeland. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Did you get gifted a membership, Melanie? If so, thank you, Jojo, and whoever else gifted. Someone said the younger one wouldn't stop crying or wouldn't comply, and I don't doubt that. All right, let's keep going.
Now, Cox could face capital murder or accessory after the fact charges. And the FBI has taken the lead on this investigation, but the agency has declined to comment at this time. And this is a developing story. 12 News will keep you updated as we get more information. Reporting live from South Jackson, Richard Lake.
Okay, and so like I said, these are all just going in order. I haven't seen a full episode. This was 3 days ago. So I went 4 days ago, 3 days ago, and then we're moving into the 2 days, etc. Yeah, I told you the story from the beginning, and I'm showing you clips as it progresses. I'm one of those storytellers that has to tell you what happens first, and then I don't give you that. You have to wait for half an hour to hear what happened. I tell you what happens, and then I show you what happens. That's my storytelling, and I love visuals. So let's show the sister now. I'm going to show the sister of the suspect. No surprise, folks. No surprise at all.
Yes, Scott. Callahan's sister is saying that her brother's actions were horrific, but it's not something that she is surprised about.
This is his first affair that he's been caught red-handed.
Dixie Hemphill now responding to her brother Daniel Callihan's arrest in Jackson on Thursday.
So no surprise. This guy is a demon. People knew it. He's been in trouble before. If you keep commenting, you will get gifted somewhere. Xanax make people still. Why? Mechanism unclear. Yeah, we don't know. People are just bad people and they're demons. Jack Storm, you're my number one to the story from. We appreciate you and I appreciate you. I couldn't be here without each and every one of you. I always tell the story first. I never make you wait. And then I go backwards. If I was a movie director, that's how I would do is I'd go and then I'd work my way backwards. Judy, you're a new subscriber. I enjoy your channel because you're intelligent and well-spoken. And I appreciate that. Now let's listen to the sister of Daniel Callihan as she speaks about it being no surprise.
Callahan is accused of killing Callie Brunett in Louisiana and abducting her 2 children. Authorities say he took them to Boulder Drive in Jackson, where he killed Brunett's 3-year-old daughter. While leaving Jackson Police Headquarters, Callahan admitted to the crimes he's charged with.
I had no reason for what I did. All I know is I want to say I was sober and only on Lexapro and off Lexapro, and I'm also diagnosed borderline with a multiple personality disorder.
I would love to defend my brother, and I'd love to say it was the Lexapro, but it's not the Lexapro. He knows what he's doing.
Hemphill says her brother has been troubled his entire life and is a mastermind at crime. She said,
not only that, folks, but remember with the dad and this poor sister now, she's got her dad and she's got her brother. So, I mean, this is, I don't know if she's going to end up with the little girl or the mom side of the family, but we've got one child that's still alive, folks. And the child that's still alive, what's going to happen to her? That's what I want to know is what's going to happen to her. This is terrible. Again, thank you for being here. Trigger warning. There's a lot more to go over.
Says that his actions against Brunett's family were horrific. She says her brother dated Brunett 13 years ago.
I met her kids twice, that doesn't even matter. I feel so bad for her parents. Like, what? Why?
Hemphill says she has gone to Mississippi Bureau of Investigation and the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department regarding her brother's behavior more than a year ago. She said Callahan once confessed to her that he molested a minor and he also took part in the death of a reported missing man. She said they did not take her seriously.
I need someone to take us serious because look what happened. And y'all think, and Lincoln County said there was no merit to him killing anyone. But yet they diagnosed him with seeing hallucinations and being schizophrenic and just let him walk up out of them doors.
She said that Callahan had goals of pursuing a life like his father.
He was classified as a serial killer. And we even tried to tell MBI about this, that he wanted to be a prodigy of his dad and he was writing his own book, except he was going to succeed his dad. And he has.
We spoke to...
Wow. And I'm sorry, whoever doesn't like it being cut off, I'm sorry about that, folks, but I can't just play people's stuff or just play the news. You can definitely go to the news and find it without my commentary, but I put a show together for you today. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes, and I'm telling you this story, so I have to kind of stop it and talk about it and recap it with you. So if you guys don't want to watch it when I talk, I'm sorry. Hello, Juror 13. Yeah, the whole thing's messed up. Trigger warning, lots of bad words, and lots of just crimes happening, evil crimes happening.
The Lincoln County Sheriff regarding Callahan's criminal past, he says they did not ignore Hemphill's warning.
There was an allegation made against him on a sexual battery case. That case was investigated and presented to a Lincoln County grand jury. The grand jury did not indict him for any of those charges.
He says there was just not enough evidence to indict Callahan on these allegations. How does it make you feel knowing that he like slipped through the cracks of the justice system earlier on?
Well, ma'am, of course, it's a very sad situation dealing with these families and their loss. Our society, based on information that you can verify in order to convict somebody, like I said, his earlier cases were presented to a grand jury of people of the county who did not feel like there was enough information to indict him on that earlier case.
Yes, I appreciate every single one of you. Hear this story. It's all over the place so far. I mean, we started off with Daniel Callihan. It's called Confessing to Abducting and Killing the Mother, Callie, Suspected Human Trafficking, Unaliving the children, one of the children, and the mother. And then we start getting deeper and deeper. Petty Mason says we're here for the commentary, and that's why I'm here, to tell you the story and to interact with the audience and answer your questions, let you interject in what happened. If you're local, you tell me about it. We get people on the show. That is how I am able to keep this going, is with the audience. I'm procrastinating a Walmart trip. Please take your time. I have much more to go. Thank you. It's just, I don't think people just don't understand that it's my show.
We also reached out to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation for comment. They did not get back to us. Reporting from JPD, Brooklyn Joyner, 16 WA.
All right, so we have more, folks. That's crazy so far. So far, we've got the sister coming in talking about her dad did the same thing. We have 3 victims in this case. So somebody asked me earlier how many victims, and I'm letting you know. Marilyn says, to hell with the cable news. Just saying, yeah. So I use the clips so I can show you the people, but I also have to tell you the story, folks. A crime to remember says Walmart delivers. Sue, I'm late. I'm glad for the commentary, and that's why most people are here, so we can talk about it. Murder mystery. Mimi says the man was evil on his own. Jackson making it sound like a trafficking ring, but this idiot was just evil. I hope they don't mess up this case by grandstanding, and I agree. Cable news. Jay's reporting is better. Thank you. And I get to talk to each and every single one of you, which makes it even better. And you guys help fill in the blanks for those that are local out here doing all the work. You're welcome. Otherwise, you'd be Googling a whole bunch of stuff for yourself. Just plain. I'm not jaded like that, folks. I love doing what I do with you all. And now we're going to see what the neighbor says about this craziness. And, these are the kind of people that I would, when you see the sister or you see the neighbor or all these things going on, those are the people that I would bring on my show to talk to about the life of these people and what happened, et cetera, right? If they saw it coming, if they knew about the family, whatever's going on. So these are the people that I would bring on my show, and I will. As a matter of fact, on Thursday, I have a special guest. Her name is K.A. Pisces. Her name's Carrie, and she knows a lot about the Wade Wilson case. So let's watch this. The neighbor that lived by Daniel Callihan said he has a temper. I would bring her on just to talk about his back history.
On the scene in South Jackson, where the Louisiana girls were discovered. We know 3-year-old Callie Brunett was found dead. Her 6-year-old sister, Jaylee, was found alive.
Our team coverage continues. WDSU reporter Courtney Williams, also in Jackson. She spoke exclusively with a neighbor who knows the suspect, Daniel Callihan.
Well, just a few houses up the road is where the body of the 3-year-old girl was found. Her 6-year-old sister was found alive just a few feet away. The tragedy has neighbors who knew the suspect heartbroken.
It brings tears.
All right, so I guess I correct myself. She was a few feet away, and it's interesting because they said she was 100 miles away. So all of these things that I'm digging up are a little bit different. This just came out, so it's going to we'll hear everything as it goes and as we clean it up. They spelled Callahan 2 different ways. They have different ages. This is breaking news, so there's always going to be a little discrepancy when that happens.
My eyes, every time I think about it, I couldn't hardly sleep knowing what that little girl's going through now. and she's gonna be scarred just because of Daniel.
36-year-old Daniel Callihan is accused of killing Callie Brunett and her 3-year-old daughter, Erin Brunett. Renee Brown lives just a few doors down from where Daniel lived and says she never thought he could do something like this.
He was a nice guy. I mean, he had a temper, but who don't have a temper? But I never thought he could stoop that low and take somebody's life. I can't put my hand around it.
This drone footage shows the FBI is actively searching the area where the 2 Laranja girls were found Thursday. Jackson Police Chief believes the site might be linked to human trafficking. Brown has known the suspect for 3 years and says he was an avid drug user.
Ice, and he took pills.
She says the neighborhood isn't the best, and after this, she wants to take her 81.
All right, folks, if you don't know what ICE is, it's the same thing as METH. That's an evil, evil thing, folks. That's Alaska. They call it ICE in Alaska. I have no idea what they called it there. Now I know. Evil, evil. It makes people do worse things than they would already do. Tracy says the 6-year-old was found in the car. The 3-year-old was found in the woods close to the car. Okay, so I'm going to put the names back up. So we call them by their names. It's Callie, Aaron, and Jaylee. And now Aaron just turned 4. So we have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 35-year-old, which is Callie. 2 of them which got their lives taken. Shaylin, thank you for being here for the 1-month membership. Jay was the father of either of the children. No, he was not the father. He was just an on-again, off-again ex-boyfriend. Not at all. Just a random guy that does bad things. PCP, part-time aging myself with crime. Yeah, it is. They said ICE. So no excuse. But it definitely brings out the devil in people. All right, we're going to finish this one up because I have an all-around, what do you call that? I have a press conference. It's going to give you a lot more information.
Year-old mother and move.
This place is dangerous. We hear gunshots. Call the cops. They don't come.
Crazy.
They're scared to come here.
Now, at this time, the suspect, Daniel Callihan, is in custody and his accomplice was taken in for questioning by police. For now, reporting in Jackson, Mississippi, Courtney Williams, WDSU News.
All right, crazy stuff, right? So we've seen sisters, we've seen neighbors, we've seen dad, we've even seen a confession on there. This is just no joke. This is brutal, folks. And we're here for Callie, Aaron, and Jaylee. Please say a prayer. We have 305 people in chat. Let's watch the presser together. Let's see what's happening. Let's see who's being charged. Let's listen to what they have to say, and let's do it together. You can say you were here first as the story unfolds. We're going to do this together, and we're going to follow it through like I do with my other, all my other cases. But I don't want to beat them and keep on saying the same thing over and over, or just doing an episode just to get likes because you guys want to see Madeline Soto's mom be crucified. I want her crucified too, but I don't want to keep doing that. I need new content, and I appreciate you being here for the new content. Now, let's talk about the latest on the Laranja killings and kidnapping and see what's going to happen. So we're in it. I'm going to do this with you, and I will pin up your questions as we go, and you can fill me in if you know other
About the
things.
investigation. He's having a news conference just a few minutes from now, and we're going to hopefully join that live. But there have been a lot of new developments throughout the day. So let's go to the Tangipahoa Sheriff now.
That I held yesterday. I wanted you to know that the law enforcement, and namely our sheriff's office, obtained some information that an adult female was with Callahan and the 2 minor children at some point, I think on Wednesday, in Jackson, Mississippi, in a motel. So obviously we passed that information along to our partners in Jackson and gave them that information. They followed that up. They went to the motel. They found Victoria Cox, age 33, I believe. She was detained by them.
All right, there she is again. That guy speaks a lot faster than the first guy that talk like really slow. Yeah, like LSD or acid. So I'm going to put this at normal speed so you can hear everything that's up to date. And then the up to date will bring you to the next episode that I bring to everybody else. We're here because your coverage of the content is the best on YouTube. Well, don't make me not be able to fit through my door when my head doesn't fit through it, Stacy. Thank you so much. And I'm only here because you all are supporting me, so thank you.
And they began their investigation of her. Also, late yesterday evening, Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office had detectives in Jackson, Mississippi. We did interview Callahan pretty extensively. He did agree to talk and did talk with us. So we got a complete statement from him late yesterday. Obviously, once that was done, we turned our attention, made it a priority to learn more about what role Victoria Cox may have played in this particular ordeal. That is, when did she and Callahan meet up? Where?
Yeah, this is interesting. As we think about this, folks, and we start watching it, why was Victoria Cox an accomplice? Why was she essaying these people and taking their lives? What made her do that? Was she just with him and it happened to, just she went along with it because she was using ice, or what's the deal? Also, as I have this stop, I wanted to show you this beautiful bracelet I got for Elijah Vu. Mr. JT sent this over. Hope for Elijah. It's hard to see, but I just wanted you to take a look at it. It says Hope for Elijah. Remember, we're in it for the missing children. We're in it for the children that need voices. And it's a beautiful wristband that I'm going to wear to keep my mind on Elijah Vu so that we can find him and bring him home. All right, so let's listen why Victoria was involved and what they know. And then after this, we'll keep covering the case. All right. I think I can speed
Did they meet up? What did she witness? What did she do? And so those are the things that obviously we need to determine. And the only thing I can tell you as it relates to that is that we have not finished our questioning of her. When we do finish our questioning of her, we may be in a position to give you more information about what potential charges she could be facing by us. Also, I'm sure we got a lot of questions, but I'm sure that anytime you have a young victim, such as a 6-year-old, that requires specialized skill and training to be able to interview those and to be able to interrogate and get statements from them. So we have scheduled a time and a place for that interview to take place. It will be soon. I'm not going to give the date or the location for that, but just know that that's in the works, that we will have an extensive interview.
And just know we're going to keep up on that, folks, as the interviews come, as everything comes, as hearings come. We're going to follow this case. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. And no, you don't need drugs for evil. Evil already exists. And this is a very evil case, everybody. A lot of people are close to this case and were emailing me about it. So I figured let's cover it and get justice for these beautiful children. StreamYard is having a problem today, and I don't know what the problem is. So let's try to get through this without having that problem. Earlier, I didn't know if I was going to be able to go on. So thank somebody above so we can cover the case for these little girls.
Of our 6-year-old victim. Obviously, we're waiting on autopsy reports. It will be one will be in Jackson, Mississippi. One will also be in Tangipahoa Parish.
And I don't mind answering questions while we're going through it, as long as it doesn't bother anybody else. Mary, the reason that the law enforcement went after him is because Callie Brunett, the mother, didn't show up to where she was supposed to. And her dad called to do a welfare check, and they went to the house, or he went to the house, and they found her unalive, passed away in her house, and realized the children were missing. So then the Amber Alert happened, and that's how this all unfolded.
At this time, the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office is obtaining warrants on Callahan for first-degree murder of Callie Brunett, 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping and armed robbery. That occurred all in Tangipahoa Parish. Mississippi has indicated that they will charge him as well with the murder of Aaron Brunett, age 4. Victoria Cox, at this time, I think either has or will be charged by Jackson, Mississippi. I don't have the particulars on what they plan on charging.
Now, she has been charged by now. This was 3 days ago. She's charged with capital murder as well as S-ing. And I wonder how far that went. So this is going to get gruesome. It's children. CODs don't come out right away. I'm sure it's going to be leaked. as the Madeline Soto one has. And we definitely have more information coming out on that. As we heard from Plunder, there's a ton of more information and video coming. So stay tuned for that with me. But also, it's important to keep these children and Callie in our thoughts.
Charging her with. I do know that once we finish questioning her, we will be placing some charges on her as well. But the exact nature of those charges or what they will be at this time is not yet to be disclosed. So another thing I would like to say, I don't mind y'all trying to get follow-up information. You have a right to do it. The public has a right to do it, but we're not going to do this piecemeal. We will only give these kind of updates when there's meaningful information to pass along. So with that, if you have a few questions that I may can answer, I'll certainly try to do that. Yes.
Sheriff, I know there were multiple agencies involved in this, but who is taking the lead in this investigation? Is it the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office, Jackson PD, FBI? Who's leading this investigation?
You left out one, all of the above, right?
And they did a pretty good job. I know you said that the Amber Alert was late, but it's hard when a suspect's moving all around and doing all these crazy things for them to come together and be able to communicate. I work in an office, folks, and I can't even communicate sometimes with my people in the office. So just want you to know it's not that easy. Now, this guy had murder mystery. Mimi says he had 36 hours alone with the kids. The messed up part about this is I believe that he only took Callie's life to steal those children, folks. I don't know why he took one life and not the other. I thank God that one survived. However, it may be trafficking because he really did go to just steal the babies and he took her life. She must have fought back. I'm sure. Relieve the children. They're caught. Imagine if they weren't. And imagine how many more victims there could be already. If this lady, Victoria, is booking hotels and helping him run and helping him hide, what else is she doing?
It could be that it's going to be all of the above. You could have a situation where our DA's office takes over and takes the lead on what happened in Tangipahoa Parish, where Jackson, Mississippi takes over what happened there. And you could simultaneously have the feds come in and exercise their jurisdiction as well. And I don't think those answers have been worked out yet.
Sheriff,
yes.
You said your investigators had the chance to actually speak to Callahan, to sit down with him. Did you get any kind of more information on what his potential motives could have been for committing this heinous crime?
No. As far as motives, no, I don't think we learned any motives for it. The only thing I will say at this time is even though we had an extremely strong case, about this time yesterday, we have a much stronger case today because we spoke to him. That's about all I can comment on. But as far as a motive, no, I don't think he did, and I don't think he possibly could, and I don't think any of us can ever determine what a motive for this particular type of crime would be.
What about the role of human trafficking?
At this time, I have no information that human trafficking played a part in this. I know that was some speculation yesterday by the Jackson Police Department, maybe coming through their assistant chief, but nothing has been shown to me to substantiate that. And I'm not saying that.
So right now they need to go through everything in order to be able to put that on paper and say that, especially in a press conference. So I think this press conference is teaching us quite a bit, but we're all teaching each other something by me reading your comments, because a lot of people have information that they heard, that I heard, and this is clearing up a lot of things. I do believe that he went to kidnap those children and the mom fought back, Callie. Right? Their names are below, so let's not forget Callie, Aaron, and Callie Brunett. Okay?
It's not. I'm not in a position to say that I know anything about that.
Sheriff, suspects who are accomplices here?
But I'm sorry.
Any other suspects from here?
I can say at this time we're not focused on anybody else as it relates to the crimes that happened in Tangipahoa Parish, other than the two names that you have before you, Victoria Cox and Daniel Callihan.
Sheriff, you mentioned armed robbery. Can you go into details what that was about?
Well, we know that he took some personal items from the home and from the person that he killed. We do know that he would have been armed with a dangerous weapon, and so the elements would fit.
You also mentioned Victoria Cox was in a motel on Wednesday. Can you kind of describe the timeline as far as when he abducted the girls and then when the mom was killed?
This is
All right, so we're gonna see if he gives us the timeline. Now, Angela, when someone's in that state of mind, you say if he kidnapped them for trafficking, he would have wanted them alive. You're absolutely right, and it could have been accidental. I hear that it was a knife that he used, and all of this was a stabbing. So I don't think that they did I don't think it was on purpose. He purposely went to go and kidnap them, and that didn't mean to happen. He wanted those girls. That's what he went for, I believe. We don't know yet. We'll find out as it comes. Thank you again, Jojo. And the reason a lot of you people come to my channel for news is because I dig deep and I tell you in my opinion what they are, and then later on when you come back it's usually the case, and we'll find it in the documentation. So yeah, I do enough research to give you my educated guess, and I think that's what's going to come out of it. You're going to have to change the name of your channel to give it a voice to those who can't speak or guilty of crime.
Great question. I can't give you any certainty of when it was. We believe it was certainly before yesterday, and we don't think it all occurred yesterday. We believe it probably occurred sometime on Wednesday. And again, that's part of the reason I wanted to question, her to see what she has to say about giving us a timeline. We do have a timeline from him, and we want to get both of them and see if they match.
Sheriff, was a missing persons report filed on Wednesday night for the
Yes.
and for the kids?
Yes.
And can you provide some more context around that so the deputies go out there and check the home?
I don't know that. I could easily find that out. I know that we took the missing persons report. And I know at that time that her being Callie, becoming Callie's parents, we know that they were concerned, but they were not alarmed, as in obviously what happened. They did not expect that to have happened. They just wanted to report to us that they had not seen her. And that was a little unusual. And so we did take the missing persons report. I don't know what time it was, but it was late in the evening on Wednesday. Yes.
Sheriff, as for that Amber Alert that came out delayed, the LSP came out and gave a timeline. And in that timeline, they said there was an incomplete Amber Alert application from the sheriff's office here. Kind of give me.
All right, here we go, folks. This is talking about why the Amber Alert was late. And Davey, I always love you filling me in on information and all of the mods. I'm not sure that Bree is here today. If you're here, let us know. I'm not sure if I even saw Carly here. I have Jojo and Davey. Thank you for being here today. That's why we have so many mods, and I'm sure soon we're going to need more mods, folks. So we'll go through Carly on that. If she ever comes back around, she probably took a nap or something. I haven't seen her yet, but if you could, please drop the link, either Davey or Jojo, for people to join our membership. There's lots of people here today that I noticed. Tiffany, so 4 days and they got 2 arrests. That's quick. I agree. They messed up on the Amber Alert because of the paperwork. But Tiffany, you're not a member, so join our channel. You're right on, Jay. If it was trafficking, there would be, in my opinion, I think it was accidental. Mod me anytime. Well, are you a mod? Do you have any background in that?
Some in-depth from your side on just what happened on that timeline and what y'all learned more now that it's been a day, and what kind of went wrong with this Amber Alert?
Well, I told you yesterday that it's something that needs to be looked into, and it has to be looked into, and will be looked into. To say that we provide an incomplete
there
form,
she is.
I don't think that's an accurate portrayal. I don't want to get a tit for tat with our partners who we work closely with. But if you look at the form, all of the information that's asked for is contained on there. And I know that we reached out and asked a couple of times what's taking so long. They never told us there's incomplete or missing information. That's not what was given to us. They said they were doing everything they could to move us.
Now, remember, this is how the justice system works, folks. It's unfortunate. People get off on crimes many times, even when they go to trial, because someone didn't cross their T's and dot their I's. So that's why we're patient with cases, even though we're upset that some people aren't arrested yet. # arrest Jen Soto. But we want to make sure that something like this doesn't happen and nothing gets messed up. So with this, maybe they might have saved somebody, but I think they did the best they can. And I'm going to give them kudos for what they did do and saving one of the little girls
quickly as they could. So, yes.
I know you say Callahan murdered her. Do you know Callahan confessed as of now?
What I'm prepared to say is our case is stronger after interviewing him than before.
Sheriff, where would
Yes.
these suspects be kept? Are they going to be in Rankin County or exactly?
That's a really good question. So let me back up and say this, because the easiest way to answer the question as it relates to Victoria Cox, unless we show that she committed a crime in Tangipahoa Parish, then we wouldn't have a right to hold her anyhow, right? So she's going to, and the fact that they've indicated that they are going to charge her, so they will keep her. As it relates to Callahan, we know that both Mississippi and Louisiana are going to charge her. So,
Good.
How does that work? He has to be, extradited here, but at the same time, they have a right to finish their charge before they do that. So this is going to take, significant coordination between our prosecutor's office and the prosecutor's office in Mississippi.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how if you go from one state to another, it takes so many resources to get the two together, but they're doing a good job. Thank you, Petty Mason, for becoming a new member. I appreciate you. You're so dope. Your reading skills are on point, and you're just a cool person. No drama. I love those folks. Thank you for becoming a member, and thank you for being here with me, everybody, today. As we listen to this, I think this gives us a lot of information, and we'll continue following it. We have 300 people in chat and probably not 300 likes. So do that so we can get more cases. And I did talk to that, we'll call him a New York police officer. We are going to collaborate soon, and we're going to talk about the Madeline Soto case, folks.
Sure. Can you give any more information on the relationship between Callahan and Cox? Did Cox have any ties to Tangipahoa Parish? Was she known to TPSO?
I don't know if she was known to TPSO. I don't think she has an extensive history. I say that. I could be wrong, but I don't think she does. But yes, she is from the Tangipahoa Parish area. The relationship there, I believe that she and Callahan have been intimately involved recently.
And do you know whether TPSO had any history going to this home, responding to calls at this home?
I don't know that. I don't know that. We can run a check and see, but nothing stands out as calls coming from there before.
Sure. Been able to identify Callahan's history with TPSO, his criminal record?
Callahan has an extensive criminal history, primarily for burglaries, some aggravated burglaries, some drug charges, some, I think, probation parole violations. I mean,
Daniel Callihan is an evil man, folks, and whatever he got caught for, I'm sure he did 10 times more than that. Of course, innocent until proven guilty, but we know how the justice system works. In this case, he confessed right to us on camera. So let's see how he gets out of that one, folks.
He was certainly known to us. He was a suspect in some burglaries recently. This is obviously before the homicides that he committed. And, we've even questioned him about those as well. So yeah, he was someone that was on our radar that we had dealt with before.
We're also hearing about something that happened recently where a shed was set on fire. We were talking to neighbors who said that Callahan was responsible for that. Can you confirm those details and talk about that a little?
I can't confirm those details. I know that one of my detectives in passing said that he may be responsible for an arson, which would fit that definition. But as far as whether or not that would be the shed you're talking about, whether it matches the time and date,
I wouldn't doubt it, folks. I wouldn't doubt if they're going to find more evidence as this progresses. And Victoria Cox is a monster. How could a woman, I don't mean to say that, but I mean, I'm not man bashing. Most crimes that are brutal are by men. And we know that women, and there's statistics, when women kill, it's poisonings, it's different kinds of, it's a different kind of murder. That's why Eileen Wuornos, the female serial killer, was, so everybody's like, Eileen Wuornos, and she makes it on the top 10 because she did it in a brutal way that most women don't. He should have still been in jail, and I agree. That's why at the beginning of the hour here, I gave you his history so you would know. Does anyone think? No, I actually do not think trafficking was involved. Trading pictures, good possibility. What does the symbol by Christina Kane? The symbol means you're a crime crew official member. Someone must have gifted you a membership unless you joined. And hello, Carly. I see you here now.
The location, I mean, I would not know that at this point in time. It's certainly important to know, but what we're focusing on right now, is mostly trying to close out as best we can these homicides and aggravated kidnappings.
And considering all you just said about Callahan, is this a person that should have been on the street?
Well, it's a person. Obviously, you don't want on the street, but now
Right.
that will take time as well to go back and see. I don't know the last time he was in jail. I don't know when he got out. I know that he has been committed to the Department of Corrections before. But I don't know. Did he get out early? Did he do a full sentence? I mean, I don't know any of those things at this time, but it would be hard to look into.
Sheriff, Jackson PD said they were able to ping the vehicle using license plate readers in Mississippi. Does Louisiana have the same technology?
So we do have the same. I can't say the same technology.
It's interesting because this press conference gives us a lot of information. A lot of times you don't get as much. They say, I don't know, refer to here. I can't say this. I can't say that. But he's actually talking quite a bit. Really surprising to have found this in different states or different things. So trafficking, CP as expressed legally as trafficking, it depends what state you're in. And nobody's been charged for that in the case we're talking about. So it's hard to believe a woman would do this. Yeah, absolutely. And right now they have enough evidence to hold Victoria on these charges. So there must be enough, or maybe she confessed too. She said she was on Lexapro.
Technology, I don't know what they have. We have license plate readers. I can tell you that we ran our own license plate readers as well. We had them run in Mississippi. We requested that they ran them, and we were aware that vehicle being in the area of Byram in Jackson, Mississippi. We knew that yesterday.
Has there been any update on how Ms. Brunett died? What the cause of death was?
No, there's been no. It's one of those things. There's no question how she died to law enforcement. If you were there, if you saw it.
See, that's why we don't have any of the CODs. I do believe a knife was involved, only because I read it or heard it somewhere, but they don't actually have it out there yet. So, yeah, I believe it's a knife, but we'll hear later because Callie is was the mother. We'll hear all of that soon. I don't know how they're going to address the minor. But we're just Lexapro's antidepressant, but that's what they're saying. I was joking about Victoria saying Lexapro too. I don't think that has anything to do with it, and I think that Daniel is just trying to get an excuse and start a defense. But he still confessed, and he had no lawyers with him.
If you were the coroner's office, but we are going to wait for the autopsy report to come back. I can tell you it was very brutal.
Considering these crimes against Mr. Callahan, do you think the DA of Jackson will seek or should seek the death penalty in this case?
Well, having been a prosecutor before, that decision rests with the prosecutor's office. But you asked me what I thought. What I think, based on all the evidence we have to date, and we're still gathering more, and what I think in relation to the statement that he gave yesterday, and you add everything up, that if you believe in the death penalty and you're supporting the death penalty, I don't know how you can believe that this is not an appropriate case to charge someone and try to get the death penalty.
I have to ask, have you spoken to the grandparents since yesterday? What has the family said? How's the family feeling right now?
I have not spoken to them since yesterday. I did speak to them on yesterday. But, I can assure you they're overwhelmed. I mean, obviously they're grief-stricken. They have a lot on their plate to digest, and even though they're grieving the loss of their daughter and the loss of their granddaughter, they're also, I think, trying to come to terms. And
yeah, he's given us a lot of information. Jojo, thank you. 222 on this channel. Any triple digits or 111 2222 triple digits or 4 digits or angel numbers. So we now have 2 new angels with us, Callie and Aaron Brunett. Prayers for Jaylee for recovery and for support. We'll keep you posted on this case, and we will definitely be watching out to see how we can help the families if we can, what's going on with them. After this press conference, I have one more. I have a law professor breaking down these crimes and what happened and give you a little more information.
And make adaptations or whatever you have to do to raise, another grandchild, and to not just raise her, but to, I think, help make sure she gets all the services and, the counseling and support that she possibly can.
Absolutely.
So I cannot imagine what all they're going through at this time.
And I have to go back to the Amber Alert. I mean, do you think if the Amber Alert was issued earlier, that could have been a different outcome? I mean, we talking about.
All right, so here's the question of the year, folks. If the Amber Alert was issued sooner, would that have saved anybody's life or the children's? No, not anybody. Would the Amber Alert have saved the children's life? Let's see what he says. The mother was already passed. He stole the children from Callie, and if the Amber Alert would have not taken so long or got tied up, would they both be alive?
3 hours from when the application was submitted to when the Amber Alert went out.
Right. That is correct. Your timeline is correct. I would say that I don't know. So certainly you always want to go out as soon as possible, but I don't know from a time standpoint what time they actually located Callahan yesterday. I mean, I don't know the exact time of that, but it certainly, in hindsight, we wished it had gone out sooner. That's the only thing I can say.
Do you have any more details on the injuries to the 6-year-old?
I do not. And then, keep in mind, if I did, I never like talking about injuries to victims in general. When you talk about injuries to 6-year-olds, it just makes it even more problematic to try to delve off into that. I would say this. I haven't been made aware of what I would say is significant physical injury, like broken bones and things like that.
And that's why I think something was accidental. Somebody was fighting back. And yeah, evil is evil, period. There are no excuses on our channel, in my head, and in the audience's head. This is the antidepressants could be, you're right, Davey, you notice mass shootings and claims about antidepressants, and also people getting ideas about it. But when someone sits there and says to you, I took Lexapro, I'm completely sober, that's why. Right there, he's just sitting there and trying to set up his, why. Yeah, synth evil shenanigans. Hey, Muma or Mama. Hey, y'all. Hope everyone's well. From Australia, all the way across the world from me. All right, let's keep going so we can listen to the law professor break it down, and then everyone can go enjoy their dinners or whatever you're doing tonight.
Any other thing that she could be dealing with, I just wouldn't want to comment on.
And for clarity purposes, can you confirm the age of the younger child? Was she 3? Was she 4? We were hearing like a birthday in October.
No, I can't confirm. I mean, it would take me probably a matter of moments to give you a date of birth, and then we could actually, figure it out. But I can't tell you here, was she 3 or was she 4?
And another question, just for clarity, Callahan was not the father of either of these 2 children?
So it's our understanding that he was not the father. Nobody believed him, in the family to be the father. I mean, DNA obviously hasn't been done yet, right? But we don't believe he was the father. No one believes he was the father of these 2 children.
And I have to ask, I know it's the early investigation, but do we know what kind of weapon was used on Ms. Brunett? Was it a gun used? Was it a blunt force object? I mean, do you know at this point?
I do know what kind it was, and I'm gonna wait till the autopsy comes out, and then we will go from there. I do know what kind it was. It was a dangerous weapon, I will tell you that.
And see, that's why it's not out there yet, but I'm guessing a knife. So we'll see what happens with my guess. It's not out there, but based on the information that I read and what I see and what I'm hearing, I'm guessing it. In my opinion, it's going to be a knife, and we'll see how that goes as it comes out. Mr. Beer says, sad thing about antidepressants, some work, some don't. Some people have to take many different ones and find the right. And I agree with that. But a lot of people have these and take antidepressants and don't do evil things. I think evil things, there's nature versus nurture, and it's a chicken and egg situation. What came before what? So I think it just depends on the situation. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. I really do want to cover other cases than the same one over and over. But when new information breaks, I also have to go back to the other cases and follow up.
And I'm not trying to be cute, but there's obviously a couple of different kinds. You have guns and you have knives. So,
Jeff, do you know if there's been communication between DA's office here and DA's office in Jackson as to how they're going to work out this jurisdiction? Has those talks begun?
The only thing I know is that the DA's office has been in contact with our office, and they are wanting to proceed. Our DA's office is wanting to proceed here. They are well aware that if Jackson, wants to proceed there, obviously they can as well. So I can't say if they've spoken for sure. Okay. Thank you very much.
That is Sheriff Daniel Edwards, the outgoing Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff, giving the latest update on this really horrible situation that we've been following for the last couple of days. His latest news conference there talking about an accomplice who's been arrested. In addition, Daniel Callihan, he's being held in Mississippi as law enforcement is continuing that investigation.
And now that second suspect believed to be Callahan's accomplice, as Katie just mentioned, is also being questioned. And we just heard that from Daniel Edwards. We have team coverage of this investigation.
Good. Now we're going to hear about her. And then I have a law professor breakdown for a few minutes. And I appreciate every single one of you for being here tonight. We're still going. We've been here almost 2 hours. I didn't realize it was going to take that long. I didn't even know I had that much content to cover this case. But once we start getting into all the facets and the lives being taken and the brutality of the case, time just flies, folks. Yeah, I hope there's not trafficking going on, but we don't know yet. We'll find out more as this goes. What this represents is how little we protect our children. Angela Goodell. Well, Callie seemed like she was trying to protect her children as much as she could, although I don't know what made her be involved with this monster on again, off again. Yeah, this is crazy. I don't understand any of this, but I mean, you can't know. None of us are psychic, so we can't say, don't ever date anybody. Don't ever bring people around. We can be as cautious as we can, pray, and hope for the best. But what I can say is never let your children sleep with the man. And I'm not saying don't let them sleep with the man because you're suspicious of them. Just don't let them as a general rule. Doesn't matter if it's a father, an ex-boyfriend, a current boyfriend, a brother, an uncle. Just don't let your female children sleep with adult men or anybody. Let them sleep on their own. That's what I have to say about that. So protect your children. Never let them, no matter what, and not because you're suspicious, just because it's not the right thing to do. You just don't throw your children in the rink with a lion, folks.
Paul Murphy has been speaking with neighbors in Laranger, where the woman lived with her 2 young girls. And Alyssa Curtis has new information on the suspected accomplice. She joins us now live from Jackson.
Sharice, Katie, that's right. We are in Jackson, Mississippi at the police department. And like you heard from the Tangipahoa Sheriff's Office, accomplice was arrested here in Mississippi, and her name is Victoria Cox. About an hour ago, we saw Victoria Cox for the first time. She was being held here at the police department in Jackson, Mississippi for some questioning. She was walked.
The walk of shame. We always want to do the walk of shame. Look at this lady. She's probably on, what do they call that? Ice as well. I cannot believe why a woman would do that to children and a mother. I have no words. Thank you, JoJo, for the memberships. And since Maddie and Elijah, I stopped dating. I have 2 grandbabies, 4 and 5. I can't risk it. And I don't blame you. The safer, the better. People in the business, though. Yeah, we don't know about the trafficking. I don't even know where that came from other than the cages, but we'll find out. Here is Victoria Cox, and she is the other suspect in the capital murder and kidnapping and essaying.
Out of the police department and placed into a transport vehicle. We're told she is now being taken to Raymond. The PIO here in Jackson, Mississippi with the police department tells me that's their holding center, and we're sure that she will be questioned further. As you heard from the Tangipahoa Sheriff's Office, she did help in some capacity in this crime. We're unclear in what capacity she helped, but we did hear from the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office that she was at a motel with Daniel Callihan and those 2 young girls at some point. Again, she is now being taken to Raymond. We're told she is being charged with capital murder and helping Daniel Callihan in some capacity. What capacity we are unsure. Daniel Callihan is being held also here in Mississippi, but
so she's being charged to the fullest extent. Tiff Knox, I saw that too when it was 5:55. Say a prayer for Callie, Aaron, and Callie Brunett. Thank you for pointing that out. This woman could have stopped it, so we want to blame it on the Amber Alert. Guess what? Victoria could have stopped it as well. She could have stopped it at any time. I am sure she could have probably reasoned with this guy or just took off with the children. Instead, she decided to go along with it. Again, innocent until proven guilty. I'm just speculating, and everything I say is for entertainment purposes only, and we'll find out as this unfolds. I remember hearing about child predators in the 70s, considered rare. Now you hear about it every day, more than every day. You hear about it 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. And I don't know if it was rare, but just no internet. I agree with you, Amy. It used to be rare, but look at why America's Most Wanted started was because Adam Walsh was kidnapped and decapitated. And so there comes John Walsh with America's Most Wanted, and he's still doing the show, but it's not called that. It's basically similar. I think they said she was the mom's neighbor, and I don't doubt that.
At the Rankin County Jail. So that is a different facility about 15 minutes from here, from the police department. We checked on the crime scene where those 2 young girls were found yesterday. That's off of Bossier here in Jackson, Mississippi. And around 1 p.m., that was still an active scene. A ton of different law enforcement agencies were still searching the scene and looking for evidence. We are unsure what they found or when they ended up leaving, or honestly if they've left yet. But again, they were still looking for evidence as of this afternoon. Again, Victoria Cox, an accomplice for Daniel Callihan.
And they will continue to look for evidence. I'm sure there's lots of it. If you hear about the brutality of it, there's going to be a lot of evidence, and I don't think there's much of a question. Jack Stormo, America's Most Wanted, was always on TV. I want to tell you something. This is how much of a true crime addict I am. I'm going to be 45 now. Even in my 20s, even when I was 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, old enough to go out to clubs, I would watch. It was America's Most Wanted came out on a Friday night, and I would stay and watch America's Most Wanted and not go out until it was over. So every week I had to get my fix and find out which criminals there were and who to look out for. So that's how long I've been doing this, watching this, and America's Most Wanted was great. I want to do that with missing children.
Has been arrested and will be taken to Raymond. Reporting live in Jackson, Mississippi, Alyssa Curtis, WWL Louisiana.
And more answers will come in the coming days. We hope for that, Alyssa. Thank you. And this tragedy has left a small Tangipahoa community in tears and disbelief. Paul Murphy spent the day in Laronja, where neighbors are hurting tonight.
Let's see if they have any new name.
Callie Brunett was found dead in.
All right, let's see her again. You guys see a different
was
picture.
Murdered and her 2 daughters in a small community like this. There is an overwhelming sense of shock and disbelief in Laronja, a small God-fearing community in rural Tangipahoa Parish.
I've been here 45 years and don't know of anything like this happening ever, especially to a child. But even Callie, she didn't deserve that. No, none of them did.
Callie Brunett was found dead in her home Thursday morning. Her 2 young daughters were abducted and.
All right, folks, there they are. Big pictures of Aaron and Jaylee Brunett. The older one is Jaylee, 6 years old. She survived. Thank God that she survived. I hope she gets the help that she needs. And I'm grateful that she did survive. I'm glad that she's in good health and in good care right now. And her life's never going to be the same, but she may become an advocate like many people do. So they're the 2 beautiful children I tried to show you earlier. That's the best picture I've had of them so far. And still, yes, no matter what show we're watching, we're going to say hashtag arrest Jen Soto. I agree. You know what? The mother of these 2 children fought for her life for these 2. So that's all I have to say.
Found hours later in Mississippi, 4-year-old Aaron was dead. 6-year-old Jaylee, thankfully, still alive.
It really is just crazy that you grow up with somebody and you haven't seen them in a while, and then all of a sudden you see them on the news that they got murdered or hurt really bad, and it's just sad.
We're sad. We never thought that it happened in a community like this.
because we're a tight-knit community.
But even in the tightest of communities, sometimes bad things happen.
For us, having children of my own and knowing Callie and her babies, it's a lot. It's hard. It's hard for everybody right now. We're all trying to pull together and be there for them.
In Laranger, everyone knows just about everyone here, but no one appears to have known Daniel Callihan, the man accused of killing Callie and Aaron Brunett.
I don't know anything about the man that was there. I've never met him before.
I'm a Christian person, but I know God's got his hands on this, but in my heart, my flesh wants to just...
Yeah, you have to remember this is a small town, folks. They're not used to even, being on the news for anything other than, I don't know what they do around that town, catching fish. I'm just making that up, but these people are going to be devastated and brutalized mentally for a while. I'm sure that house will never be the house that she lived in, will probably be taken down. A lot of people were emailing me, and Suzette said I live 2 hours north from Jackson, MS, but one of those here got an Amber Alert. A lot of people were messaging me, so I had to cover it today. I felt compelled to do so. There's so many cases I felt compelled to do. I just don't have enough time, folks. All right, we got one more thing after this, and then we'll
for
wrap
this
up.
man, for what he's done.
Governor Jeff Landry released this statement about the tragic events here in Laranger.
And it's a small town when the governor comes out and I don't mean to laugh, but releases a statement like this. He probably is going to take some heat over the time that it took to get the Amber Alert, if that started in his town. But I appreciate him for doing that. You said it, I'm a redneck. Okay, I said it. Yeah, you're allowed to say that. We're not allowed to say that about you, but you can say it about yourself. You go. You tell us. We're heartbroken. The evil person responsible for this crime will be held accountable. Justice will be served. And there's 2 evil people in this case. I'm going to show you the breakdown of the law professor, and then we'll wrap up. You guys say everything you want to say. If you just came in and you still have questions, I'm happy to answer them. And then I'm off to make dinner and be a good mom. I made good dinner last night. I don't know what I'm going to make tonight, but all right. I don't know. I should talk about dinner. Look at this evil guy. Let's watch this. Oh, doesn't he look like Manson or something? He reminds me of Manson. Just evil man. It's sad that evil exists the way that it does. I'm in Vermont. Everyone knows it's related. Its impact so close, so small. Thank you, Kristen Perry, for the comment. And everyone here tonight, I appreciate you. We've had over 300 in chat tonight, and I'm very proud of that because you guys are supporting other cases than just the big cases that are everywhere. They're all important, folks. That's the secret I have to tell you. All these cases are important.
Behind bars tonight in connection to a horrific murder and kidnapping that led investigators all the way to Jackson, Mississippi. Good evening and thanks so much for watching. I'm Whitney Miller. It all began Thursday when 35-year-old Callie Brunett was found dead in her home in Laranger, and her 2 young children were missing. An Amber Alert was sent out, and hours later, the children were found in Jackson, Mississippi, one of them dead. Daniel Callihan was arrested and shockingly confessed to the crime while our cameras were rolling. Now he faces a capital murder charge. I sat down with a local law professor to talk about the lengthy legal battle ahead.
Yes, I do want to say something before we get the legal law professor breakdown. What's up, Gen 13? And Tracy, I wanted to say he did look much different on the Facebook page. So when you think about Callie and how she passed away, she could have seen the other version of this guy, and she was dating him, and he was already like this, but he turned into this, somebody that she would not date. So on again, off again, relationship. This may not be the man that she saw, and I'm sure she did best off again with him. But prayers to her and her family, and the beautiful Callie Brunett who survived. And hashtag dinner with Jay. My dinner's up next. This guy we're just gonna call him Daniel Manson, folks.
I did.
A shocking confession Friday from 36-year-old Daniel Callihan as he was escorted from a police station in Jackson, Mississippi.
I had no reason for what I did. All I know is I want to say I was sober and only on Lexapro and off Lexapro, and I'm also diagnosed borderline with a multiple personality disorder.
He confessed to the murder of Erin Brunett following the murder of her mother, Callie. Callahan blaming a medication used to treat mental mood disorders as the reason why the young girl is dead. But despite his confession, investigators say the motive is still unclear. We asked Loyola law professor Dane Ciolino what he makes of the case.
Is as egregious a murder case as you can imagine. And it is one that's death eligible, certainly in Mississippi, certainly at the federal level.
Friday, the Tangipahoa Sheriff's Office told our cameras they have a strong case.
What I'm prepared to say is our case is stronger after interviewing him than before.
Ciolino says based on the confession from Callahan, a defense attorney will have a hard time trying his case in court.
That clearly will be all that his defense lawyers will have to work with, is that either he was insane at the time of committing these offenses and thus should be not guilty by reason of insanity, or even if he is guilty, his impaired mental condition should be, the defense will argue, a mitigating factor.
And this is real talk, folks. And this is why he said what he said. He knew exactly what he was saying. He knew he got caught red-handed. He wasn't going to plead not guilty, but he is going to use that as a defense. Legally insane and medically insane have two meanings. He can't use that one, but he's dumb. He's a dumb criminal like most criminals, and he thinks he's smarter than everybody else. I'm sure he's a narcissist, a psychopath, and all the other terms that I'm not a doctor to say, but I'm going to say that he probably has all of the above. But this guy knows what he's talking about. He's a law professor, so he's breaking down what Daniel Callihan is trying to do.
Mitigating against a death sentence and in favor of a life sentence.
Friday, Callahan said he welcomes the death penalty.
For what I did, lethal injection is the easiest thing for me.
The defendant has done some heinous act, has brutally murdered an innocent victim, and he wants the death penalty. It's often not hard to find a jury to give him what he wants.
Doctor.
And Callahan's alleged accomplice, Victoria Cox, was also arrested yesterday. But unlike Callahan, she did not speak to reporters. Cox's involvement in this is unclear at the moment, but the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office says she was with Callahan and the two young girls sometime on Wednesday. Callahan will be held at Rankin County Jail while Cox will be at Raymond. Both Callahan and Cox are being charged with capital murder and sexual battery. And tonight, FBI New Orleans is asking anyone who has interacted with Callie or Erin Brunett, Daniel Callihan, or Victoria Cox within the last 4 days to come forward with any information that could help investigators. We have a
you go, and I'll leave it on that page. So, I'll make it big for a second. You can see that Brunett. It says it's the FBI. Actually, if you go onto the FBI website, it says Brunett kidnapping and murders, and you put your name and number and all the information and anything you want to put. So it's on the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So they really want to make sure that these two are prosecuted to the fullest extent, which thank the man or whatever, the person above. It's just one of those things. All right, folks, we've been here for a long time, over 2 hours. I thank each and every single one of you for being here today, tonight, this evening, whatever you're doing. Thank you so much. Please keep following this case with me, and we're going to do many more. We have much more coming for you. We have more guests coming this week. We have a lot of shows coming. Let me put my email below. Jojo always gives me lots of cases, but if you get a case or there's breaking news, things like that, please message me with cases that I can cover. If there's a local case that's near to you and dear to you, or you know somebody, let me know. Bree, I have no idea. I still have to work on that. It's only 6 o'clock here, so I have my time. Take care. Appreciate the conversation. Bye. Jay, love you. Good night, everyone. Hit that like button on the way out. Please, let's get in the algorithm. And on that note, I'll see you all tomorrow.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?